In my last video, I talked a lot about the hardships of living in a shed in the wilderness, but I didn't say much about the joys. I've built a thick layer of self-deprecating humor as a way of coping with those hardships, but it's easy to get so carried away cracking jokes about shit buckets that you forget to mention the beautiful side of this life. A lot of the things I envisioned doing when I moved out here are still stuck in the future. Growing gardens, raising chickens, carving trails, maybe even hosting a party or two. All of that has to wait until I get the basics in place, like a shower and a toilet. But even now, in these gritty early stages, there are a lot of small joys to love. I love the sky. I grew up in Western Washington, where the sky is almost always blocked by trees, mountains, or buildings. It's hard to find a horizon over there. East of the Cascades, there's an endless abundance of horizons. The sky on my land is a 360 panorama dome that plays blockbuster movies 24/7, dramatic explosions of surreal shapes and colors that never seem to repeat themselves, a new show every day. The perspective shift astronauts described after seeing the Earth from space, I feel some of that looking at these skies. The sensation of being a tiny speck puttering in the dirt while some vast, unfathomable parade unfolds above me. I love the silence. When the wind isn't blowing, you can stand in the grass and feel like you're hearing the whole world. Every branch creak and leaf whisper, cows mooing miles away in the valley. I once heard a tiny scraping noise coming toward me and I couldn't find the source. I realized it was the sound of some creature digging somewhere underground. It made me feel like my feet were roots connecting me to everything. I love the birds. The quail are absolute clowns with their silly little hats and the way they forget they can fly and just run away in a straight line like cartoons. Ravens drift overhead speaking their guttural language of croaks and clicks. I dream of convincing them I'm cool. I long to join their gang. And the bluebirds, my personal favorite, so playful and curious, and they're very good at quantum locking. I love watching all these kooky characters doing their little dances and singing their little fuck me songs. They bring a bouncy vitality to the world, a coked out manic enthusiasm that always makes me smile. And then there's the deer with their slow, silent serenity. I love the deer. I get to watch little families or sometimes even large herds exploring my property, looking for tender morsels. I love the way they plod along with quiet dignity through their terrifying existence as the most obvious prey animals in the region, happy for each day they get to stay alive. I have succeeded in convincing them I'm not a threat and that they should accept my gifts. But Bob still tries to stalk them. Dream big, little buddy. I even love the bugs, some of them. I have an eternal loathing for wasps, which are what happened when God let Satan create an animal. But most of the other bugs out here are just goofy little guys who have no desire to feed on my blood or tears. I love the grasshoppers with their big dumb faces and how every time they jump they just launch themselves blindly into space and then tumble into a sloppy crash landing. I love these things, and these things, and these things. They're all just bumbling around looking for poop to eat, just like the rest of us. I love the end of the day. That moment after a long shift of physical labor when the sun starts to dim and I decide it's quitting time, that feeling of being squeezed out and expended, when I can finally flop down with a tasty meal and enjoy a few hours of fun before taking a hard-earned sleep. I love the guidance of the day-night cycle. Throughout the year, I shift my sleep schedule so I'm always waking up at sunrise. In the winter, that means a longer evening, but mornings stay consistent. I love the constraints of nightfall, how the total absence of nightlife creates a comforting simplicity of decision-making. Daylight means work, and darkness means rest. I might find a little mind work to do in those long winter evenings, but at least I know everything outside is gone, which narrows things down a lot. I love the narrowing down, the limiting of options and removal of decisions. I love absence, the generous blank space on the canvas. No one is inviting me to anything. No one is asking me for favors or offering me opportunities. No one is trying to duplicate their problem set onto mine. The needy, greedy churnings of humanity feel far away, all their frantic grasping and attaching. I love the solitude. I love being alone, not all the time, but most of it. I love people, but I hate their systems. their cultural baseline of sticky, codependent craving and frantic self-assertion. I love floating far away from all of that, owing and asking nothing. I don't care if it's selfish. I don't care if it's unhealthy. I don't care if I'm wrong about everything. I love being a barely sentient cloud of particles just radiating whatever light they contain as they slowly break down and diffuse back into the ocean of everything. I love my cat. I love making coffee. I love the stupid little Marion bowls I make for dinner, the same food almost every night, but so delicious I still scream, "Hot damn!" I love watching the sunrise through my window and then walking to the other side of the peak to watch the sunset on public land. I love these rocks. I love this tree. I love this rusty car. I love eating fresh fruit from this farm. I love watching Bob savor his own simple joys. I love capturing all these moments with my stupid phone and speaking these fancy words and making music to resonate with them. I love making this video. I love sharing it with you. I love you.